Same. I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was a
No, buddy.
Look in the drawer sometimes. They're just having the time of my life.
Instagram pictures are together.
Oh my gosh.
Is that a Thundercat?
Technology.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh no.
Buddy.
We never doubted on one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome everybody to Launchpad Reseller Podcast Season 2. My name is Bob. I'm the Rock City Reseller. And of course, I am joined by my co-host, Tennessee Treasures, Ellie. Hello, Miss Ellie. And we are your mission control for all things reselling. Remember, whether you've been selling for 20 minutes or 20 years, we are sure there's something we can learn together. And we have the perfect guest tonight for learning about all things sports, and vintage and collectibles and all the things. Triple R Collections. Ray, thank you for being on the podcast. Welcome.
And thank you for inviting me out. I'm happy to join you guys tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I know you're a busy guy and you do a lot of things. And for those that aren't tracking, Ray, he does a few different podcasts. Why don't we tell folks where you are doing that, so that way they can hurry up and find you there so they can follow you.
Yeah. So on Monday mornings at 9 a.m. You will find me on Buy It All with my co-hosts Jimmy Old School Flips and Keith Vintage Sport Flips, which I believe you've had both of them on here, right?
Yeah, they've both been on the podcast. Yeah.
Yep. And then on Thursdays, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we go live. I go live on Reseller Lunchbox. A few of my buddies over there. We have Big City Flips, Jay, Chad the Quirky Picker, and Lori Happy Picker. We all go live. And actually this week we're gonna have Primo Chemo on there as a special guest. So he's gonna join us for a couple hours, I believe.
Love that.
Yep.
That's awesome. And so much information comes out of those things, man. I'll tell you. There's so much good information coming out of those different spaces. And I first of all want to say I am a huge fan of Buy It All. If you guys do one thing, if you don't get anything else from this podcast today, the one thing you need to do is follow that podcast as well, because those guys are just absolutely so hilarious. The stuff that comes up in that podcast is absolutely entertaining for sure. And I appreciate all the laughs. It's one of my ones I keep in rotation. I don't get a lot of opportunity to watch a lot of content, unfortunately, because I am so busy. I do this part-time. So when I do have a moment to relax and kind of hang out, that's what I do. I watch that one. So I definitely appreciate that. So.
That's awesome. I appreciate you watching it. Yeah. I mean, it's a blast doing that podcast. It's always fun. I never know what we're going to get into or what we're going to talk about, whether I think in the beginning we were kind of talking about what I'm not supposed to talk about. Everybody knows, if you watch, I'm not supposed to talk about, but the poop plant that's right down the street from me. We talked about that too much. But no, there's all kinds of things. We have fun. We go back and forth with each other a little bit with some jokes, and there's some great guys that I can really consider some friends.
Yeah, for sure. When you guys refer to us as the lunchbox, no, what the hell did you call us? Oh God, it was.
What was it? Leap pad, was it, or something like that?
I was dying.
I don't know.
I was dying. It was like Tailspin, not DuckTales.
Yeah, that's like that. Yeah.
I about fell off my chair. I was laughing. So, in context, it's probably not as funny for those watching now, but if you go back to that episode, I forget which one it was, but it was hilarious.
I don't even know.
I think it was when Jimmy was on and he was talking about coming on.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the Launchpad would quack. You never know what's going to come out of Jimmy's mouth, so I can only imagine how much fun that is.
He's funny. But because I don't know what episode that is either, because it's been almost a year since we've been doing Buy It All. We were talking about that last week, and I cannot believe it's almost a year. It's
that's crazy to think about. You guys have had some pretty good guests on. You have some connections within the reselling community.
Yeah.
And you've been reselling. Let's talk about how long you've been reselling. How you came to that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to fill us in on the details.
Yeah. So I've been reselling probably around like 2011-ish is since I've been
Oh, wow.
reselling. Really, I mean, at first I wasn't selling online. How I got into really selling is that I'm a big fan of collecting autographed memorabilia. So a friend of mine that I met at the flea market, he was selling just so much local sports memorabilia, like really good deals. It was to the point I was buying so much. He was like, "Hey, I know how you can get stuff signed yourself." Like he showed me where to go at the stadiums and like different venues around town, to the point where I could get that stuff. And then I just had so much. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? I was living at home, just in the bedroom at my parents' house, like, and I'm like, I have totes and my walls are completely filled. I have so much stuff. I have to get rid of this. And luckily, my mom, she's a reseller. She's been
Nice.
selling eBay for years, probably near when eBay first started. And so because of that, it was a really easy jump right into that. But like before I was even selling on eBay, I was trying to sell a lot of that stuff at the flea market, and then it just evolved into eBay naturally because, like I said, my mom is a reseller also. I think it's definitely just in my genes. She even had a flea market stand for years, like a flea market booth. And then, like I said, being an eBay seller and just trying to like going to a flea market every single weekend growing up. Never know what you're going to find. I mean, I know when I was younger, in my younger years, I didn't like it because I'm getting up at like 4 a.m. on the weekend. Right. I'm like, I know I just had school all week. I want to sleep in or something, but they would drag me and I learned so much over time. I picked so much up, and now it's really, really kind of helped me now to this point where, I mean, I can't even see myself sometimes not being able to go to the flea market. I love going to the flea market every weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
That gives me a little bit of hope that the torture that I might put my kids through sometimes is worth it.
Oh yeah, I think so. Like it's just something even nostalgic about it. Like to me, I mean, just seeing like my local flea market, and now there are a lot of them that have closed up in the past, so things have changed. But the one I currently go to is only like 10 minutes from my house, so nice. It's really convenient, close. And that place is kind of just it's a big deal around here in this town. There's nothing else around here, like especially now since all the other flea markets have closed. There's not really anything else like it. So I mean, they have an Amish market attached to it, or you go over there, you get your pretzels filled with like hot dogs or cheesesteaks. They have like pretty much everything you can imagine. And then, but the best thing about this flea market, and I think it's not like an antique market. So it's more of they just get, they're one of those flea markets where they have a lot of dealers that buy storage units. So they have to get rid of this stuff quick. They have to move to that that product quick to get to the next buy. And so it's always new stuff coming in there. And that's probably one of the best things about that flea market.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's remind people about where you are in the world so that they can throw some context and some flavor on this so that they have an idea where,
Yeah. So I'm located in Baltimore, Maryland. I say Baltimore because that's how
Baltimore.
We say that. Yeah, Baltimore is a proper pronunciation. But I'm pretty much, I'm right outside the Baltimore city line. So it's
Yeah.
Baltimore County, really. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a funny story about Baltimore.
okay.
I don't know if this is the right time to tell it, but maybe I'll just jump in there and tell it. So we went down there for a wedding a few years ago, and I think it was the Ravens, right? Baltimore
Mhm.
Ravens. Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. So the stadium's like right there in downtown, and we didn't stay very far from there.
Mhm.
One of the things that really scared me about this place is they had those zip bikes, those electric
Mhm.
bikes, and they were like everywhere. And I wasn't really used to that because we're in podunk nowhere, Alabama. So we go to Baltimore, and God, they have these bikes zipping in and out. I'm like, Amanda, be careful. Please don't like hit somebody because you just they're I mean, they're
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
insane. So that was the first thing. The other thing was climbing over homeless people. It is absolute tragedy what is happening to Baltimore. It is absolutely
Mhm.
insane to behold. Um, and that was the most stark thing that I saw. And it was kind of weird. We were it's a funny story. So we were driving past the stadium, and people were going into the stadium, and of course they have these zip bikes like I just mentioned.
Mhm.
And I look over to my right. This guy is on a zip bike. And I don't know what he was thinking. He hit the acceleration or whatever. He ran the thing right into a wall. He ran the thing right into a wall and bounced.
Oh man.
Oh dang,
He
Ricochet!
bounced off it, but he did it again.
Wow.
You did it again? Oh my god!
He did it twice. I can't
One of
even
those
think
times
about
that
it
you wish
without
you would have
crying
had
laughing.
this to like.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
it was the craziest. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was not his first time, or maybe it was his first time on one of these things.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll see some crazy stuff down there. I try
Yeah.
not to go too far deep in. I mean,
Yeah.
usually the Ravens and Orioles game is pretty much as far as I go. I don't
Yeah.
go much farther than that. I think a lot of locals know that that live in the county outside because it can get a little dangerous. Unfortunately, I love this city. I love
It's
the
beautiful at night.
teams.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful, absolutely beautiful at night.
I
I
mean,
will say.
there's plenty that it has to offer, but sometimes you might love the city, but it doesn't love you back. you know.
Yeah, it is very architecturally like appealing, I will
hmm
say. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of like really cool features about Baltimore.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I just wanted to throw a
Oh
little
yeah.
context so give people an idea kind of where you are in the world because that's helpful because we're going to talk about some things maybe that are impacting. How's reselling in Baltimore? What does that look like?
Mhm.
How's that part of it? You finding a lot of great things, older things, newer things? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the picking like down there?
So like I was saying, I think a lot of the picking, I think it's sometimes it's a little bit of a slim pickings because, and I
Mm,
say that because you're not finding a lot of the old stuff. Like if you go, like I know my buddy Keith Vintage Sport Flips, he seems like he's always finding like this really cool old vintage and antique stuff. Like you
yeah.
just don't. I mean, you could find that here, but it's one of those things. It's more competitive. You
Mm.
got to be the first in line at the estate sale.
Mm,
You get or it gets scooped up and somebody else is just going to put it online. It can get very competitive being in a city like this. It's just
yeah.
busy, but if you know your stuff, if you broaden your horizon and just change your perspective to what you're buying. So I mean that's one thing I had to do. I mean when I first started selling, I mentioned about the memorabilia. Well, I I had probably a few years because it was a few years after I started selling on eBay that I ended up I quit my job, and it was kind of like one of the worst slash best decisions I
Mm,
had ever made because at the time I quit. I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I quit, and the most of my inventory was local sports teams inventory. It was the Orioles and the Ravens. Well, that year they both had completely awful seasons. What kind of money can I make on teams if I'm like that's most of my inventory? What can I make on that? Nothing. Nobody wants to buy it. So I instantly had to learn and adapt and just research. I mean, and we talked about this, but like YouTube is great for learning. You know, it's and that's what I did. So I was finding myself watching. I was watching Lonnie and John Cincinnati Picker and I mean pretty much anybody you can think of back then I was watching. My mom would even have them on too. So she would always learn. I would learn from her.
Yeah.
But like she would put them on while I'm packing orders. So I'm just listening, taking in information as I go. I'd have lists of like I would bring a notebook with me of all the types of brands of like the top ties, or I did research on the top selling VHSs because I knew that people were practically giving them away at that point. So I knew then I had to adapt and buy. I was buying wrestling VHSs or horror VHSs, that kind of stuff. And then almost instantly, when I did that, it had a huge impact, a major impact how I bought, and really changed my reselling for forever.
That makes perfect sense because Ellie and I have been back and forth about this a little bit about like breaking niche because we're mostly niche down to plush and toys. I don't think we'll particularly ever break niche, but it is very attractive to maybe look outside the plush and toy category and maybe go elsewhere just to kind of make the most out of your time. I mean, we do a fair business, don't get me wrong. We're more than blessed in regards to sales and things of that nature. We're doing really well, but what do you think, Ellie? Do you think it's always attractive, right?
I think that a lot of people are like held up based on, okay, I can't find this inventory. And I think that the word of the year is pivot. We have come back to this word over and over again.
That's true.
I think essential in reselling and in anything perhaps. But as far as like, if I see $100 camera for $5, I'm picking it up, Bob.
I mean, and you probably wouldn't be wrong. I found a $600 camera at the bins, and I'm a plush guy, right? I ended up giving it to my son's girlfriend because she's a photographer. But
nice.
Yeah, so I agree. If something's gonna fall into your lap, it's like almost a no-brainer.
While we're looking, but then how do you like not cross that line of?
Yeah, the trick is, can you get through all the inventory in time, in a timely fashion, right? And do you have enough storage to do it? I think it always comes down to the same thing for me. If I had extra storage, because right now we are at capacity, we're almost at 10,000 listings. So,
wow.
For us, I mean, we're without a warehouse, there's no way forward for us. So it's just, and we're getting into fourth quarter, and the wheels will fall off for plush and toys. That's just the name of the game, right? We prepare all year for this moment. So I definitely can see how you, Ray, were like, I need to make a move because Orioles, they're playing right now, by the way. Orioles in Boston are playing right now. My team and your team are playing.
I was thinking when I was putting on this hat, like it almost looks like Boston, and I might,
a little bit.
You might say something, but it says Baltimore on the back.
Yeah. I figured as much, and that's okay. But you're right. That's like, what do you do when the stuff that you're finding isn't as attractive? Now, at any given year, the team could do well, obviously, right? Yeah, and that's good, right? You want to continue to pick up things, but you have to draw the line somewhere. Enough is enough. Like when I pick up childhood favorites, I know it's going to take a while to sell this plush. I'm always torn, Do I pick this up there? I know there's someone out there looking for this thing, and I'd love to make that connection. But at the end of the day, it is a business after all. You have to kind of pivot, like Ellie was saying. So it sounds like you made that decision, right? To pivot towards collectibles more so, maybe.
Yeah, like I think I had to. I definitely, like I said, I had to adjust. I mean, the easy thing is to sell the stuff that you love, that you like, that you enjoy. That's the easy thing. But to go through and like try to learn other items, other categories, I mean, that does get tough. But then once you start making the money in those categories, you're like, okay, I actually like this more than I thought. Like, you know,
Money is very attractive in that way.
yeah, yeah, and it
I
doesn't,
hate clothes.
it doesn't mean you're going to completely get away from that. So, like, I mean, since it's primarily sports memorabilia and that kind of stuff is what I really like. I mean, if you look at it, okay, I can still do sports clothing. There's plenty of jerseys and shirts, hats, all this. I love selling all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, you figure there's magazines, you know, with sports stuff. It's so broad. They've made sports stuff in pretty much every category you can think of.
Yeah.
So I think that allows me also to look more. Like I can look at like a broader, I can have a broader search. I'm trying to think like for instance, okay, you know, when you go in like an estate sale or a yard sale or anything like that, you're scanning for the stuff you know instantly right away, right? Like, you know, that's what you're doing. But you know what's great is that after you're done scanning, be able to go back and get the stuff that you didn't know about and then learn and figure, you know, or, you know, you weren't going there first. You know what I mean? Is it like, I think that's one of my favorite parts is seeing the stuff that I was really interested in and then going back and finding something that maybe in many times, sometimes it actually sells for more because it was something that was just kind of hidden. I didn't know about. That other person that was before me, they didn't know about it. I mean, some stuff can sit there all day. Like I've been to the flea market and I've even seen some of these vintage hats, like $100 hats. I'm there I was walking back to my truck one day at 3 p.m. This hat was sitting there all day. It was like a Cowboy, I think was it a Cowboys or Ram? I think it was a Rams logo athletic or something, vintage hat, but it was like $100 hat. I'm walking back my truck to go home. I just look over and I'm like, let me just look through this short little stack. $3, you know? So because I expanded, I mean, more than just autograph memorabilia too. Like that's, you know, you have to expand a little bit at least, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I like what you said because even in the toys, I've picked up a lot of graphic tees that are like cartoon characters, Disney tees, things like that, and I sell T-shirts like that. And I also pick up blankets, sheets, pillows, things like that.
With those characters on them, like
character.
Yeah.
But I kind of keep it to the niche of toys. Like I look for the characters, the vintage, that kind of stuff. I have a 101 Dalmatians ceiling fan that I need to list. Like, so I do kind of step out of my comfort zone in that way, but I keep it linked to the toys. So
talk about niche stint. I mean, that's about as niche stint as you can get, right?
Yeah.
But you know, because like the same customers that are going to buy those toys are going to buy like
that,
that
other
stuff. As long as it has the character
whole.
on it, or you know, for me, if it's the team,
Mm-hmm.
they're the same. A lot of times they're the same customers. Now, I mean, it gets a little different with me dealing with cards. I don't know if you know, I can jump into talking about selling cards a little bit. Which is something, honestly, I see my store is, I think it's over 13,000 items now, but I'd say probably 9,000 of that is cards.
Right.
I didn't want to sell cards. Huh?
Are they easier to list?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that's primarily why I sell cards. And I'm not doing a lot of high dollar cards. I'm doing the common stuff, or, you know, stuff that's the base or the low value inserts is usually, because I'll buy bulk and then I use different, well, right now, because I might be switching, so I'm not going to name them right now, but I have a AI listing tool that I just use, and it's great. The price point is great for cards necessarily, that I can list, say, 200 to 300 cards within an hour.
Wow.
So, and it makes them about like maybe like 1 to 2 cents each per listing, because how much I pay per month. It breaks it down to like usually one. Well, maybe I think the next service I'm doing might be 3 or 4 cents, but either way, it's not that much more.
Mhm.
So that makes it completely worth it to do the bulk. And it's the stuff that people aren't, a lot of people are after the high dollar stuff, but there's a lot of collectors out there. They want the low dollar stuff.
Mhm.
An idea when I'm buying these cards in bulk, and I'm going to list them like this, and my store's going to be full of lower dollar cards, but I'm going to have a lot of customers come in. They're going to buy multiples at a time.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to work my way to build. And the only way to do that, you have to have a lot of cards.
Right.
If you only have 1,000 cards, even, you're not going to sell like the quantity to one person. You're not. You're just not.
So
But,
are they more long tail, or do you see them kind of flipping pretty?
yeah, so there is a lot of long tail, but I think that's why I'm going to use the like you said, the word of the year, pivot.
Mhm.
2026 word of the year.
Yeah.
Coined here.
I've kind of pivoted to not just really sports cards, but non-sports. And I'm not saying Pokemon necessarily or any
Pokemon
of that stuff.
sells.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's one of the things I do have to take the time to learn. I could have bought some last weekend, and I passed on it. But a lot of the non-sports stuff, whether it's like Marvel, I like selling that.
I told the story. I found some Marvel Fleer cars in the trash. And I
Really?
listed them yeah.
Oh no!
It was in a trash of a like a cleaners.
Wow.
It was right next. So I used to dumpster dive.
Oh wait, I think I remember that actually. You said that. I do remember
they're
that.
Marvel Fleer cars.
Yeah.
I am terrified of cards. I don't know what to do with them. I pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have I think I have a little bit of Magic the Gathering. I think I have what's old Jurassic Park cards.
Jurassic Park, yeah.
I have Pokemon. I have Yu-Gi-Oh. I have many of the cartoon, but I won't touch them.
Yeah, I think I don't want to touch them unless I have I don't want to list them at all unless I have an AI listing tool. Without an AI listing tool to be able to do that in bulk, it doesn't make sense. You're gonna lose money, and will ultimately lose time that you could be taking to list items that are higher dollar. So if you're not able to list them in bulk like that in like large quantities, then at a time, then it doesn't make any sense.
I think it's more research for me that scares me because I don't know, and the prices when you look up any card are like day and night. You can see a card for $2, you see it for $200, same card, and I'm like, what's the difference?
Yeah, sometimes it's the slightest difference, but that's the thing. Those are the type of cards that make those bulk buys completely worth it. So I'll buy a whole big box, like maybe 1,000, 2,000 cards, and I might pay $30 for it, but all it takes is one card in there to make my money back. You know what I mean?
I guess they don't take up a ton of space because whenever I pick them up, I have right now 1 or 2 drawers of cards just kind of sitting there. I did take a bunch to McKay's of basic Pokemon cards, like base, nothing special, nothing old or anything like that. But
yeah, I mean they don't have to be special to sell. They don't have to I have some Jurassic Park ones. Not that I know of, there's really too much in Jurassic Park that's really hot or special. I mean, especially in the 90s cards with what but I mean, if you have it out there, that's the thing too. Just give it a try. Like if you have it out there, you'll sell it. If if it's sitting there, it's never going to
sell
sell.
it. Won't list if it, yeah.
You know, it can't sell if
I've
it's
never
in the
heard that
back
before,
room.
Bob.
Gee, I wonder where we heard that one before.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
I
I'm
love
working
that.
on it.
I love that analogy. Like when I worked at Rite Aid, that kind of stuck with me. Is that like you can't sell stuff if it's not out on the sales floor. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I just love that. But
Working on it.
So
I know it's difficult. It's hard to find the time. And
are you using a machine, Ray, for these bulk? Are you using a machine, a card scanner?
no,
for this?
no. So I have a stand that I just use my phone, and it's really quick and easy. I just flip it over, and it's still pretty quick. I know I've been recommended to buy a scanner or something like that, but I mean, most of the scanners are pretty costly, so I just haven't bitten the bullet
Bet you
yet.
can find one thrifting.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
Someone that was in the game now is out of the game or was looking to get out of the game. That's always the way, right?
Yeah.
Try to find something on Facebook Marketplace.
Well,
do you sell on Marketplace? Or where do you sell? That's a good question.
Yeah. So I sell eBay, Facebook Marketplace. I brought that back this year. I stopped last year, but I brought that back. Mercari, Poshmark, Etsy, and Depop are what I'm currently actively selling on. But I might be expanding. Usually when I expand one, and I'll drop one, like I'll drop my lowest performing. So I like to have as many options as I can available out there. Yeah. And since I do cross post that, it's difficult because it gets messy. Like if I forget to delist something or that's happened plenty of times. And right now, see, I'm trying to watch it on Mercari. I got to be careful. I actually have my store on vacation, and I put it on vacation, I think Friday. And then I realized that when it's on vacation, you can't edit your store at all. All your listings completely disappear. So I was going to go through and delete stuff and try to get it cleaned up, and I can't even do that right now. But,
well, listen, it's a common problem. My store got.
Yeah. So Ray, the quirky picker Chad's in the chat. Hey,
Chad. Hey, what's up, Chad?
Well,
so why not Nifty? Is it the cost? Is it the affiliation to your other AI tools? Just curious.
So I have lists perfectly, but the thing is, I think I started so early, and I'm in so deep where nothing I have prospects is stored on List Perfectly, because it's like eBay is my home base. So everything I have is listed on eBay, and I cross post from there to these other platforms. And I have so many listings that it makes it difficult. I think it would just take way more time even for me to put the stuff on List Perfectly. So I don't know if I have to do like a hard reset. That's what I'm
all right, Ray.
about.
Well, this is the opportunity. Yeah. This is the opportunity for you to think about what I'm about to just say to you. Okay. So Nifty.ai code Rocket City is going to save you 15% off your first month. There you got that going for you right away. And there. Okay. Right there. If you want a QR code, well, I hope I'm pointing to it. Yeah. I'm not sure if I am or not. Here we go.
No, I think it's the other way.
It's always opposite, right? So Nifty.ai, right? So hear me out. The Rebel Reseller, do you know them? Robert and Rebel?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, she's 10,000, 11,000 listings strong. I convinced her this year to change to Nifty.ai. Guess what happened? She had all those listings. Guess what happened?
What?
They're absolutely on fire right now for sales everywhere. What? eBay just tanked for them. And they said if it wasn't for Nifty.ai, they would be in some serious trouble right now, in all seriousness. Now, even if they weren't a sponsor, right, the affiliation or whatever, take that out of the picture for a second. But think about that for a second. For them, it's absolutely expanding their horizons and their business and all the other things. So I would just let you want to consider that it is possible, even with a large store, and it did work flawlessly for them in conversion. They even did a video about it. If you don't believe me, go to their channel, and they did a video about how easy it was and all the steps involved with it, etc. So for anybody that's listening to this, has a big store or a big presence and you're scared to potentially pull the pin, or if you're worried about possibly missing something, what we did with Vendu, because I told the story many times, is Vendu almost cost me my eBay store. They were missing delisting. They were Mercari connections, specifically an eBay connection. They were dropping listings. So I was having trouble finding items that were previously sold. I didn't realize what was happening. So by finally figuring that out, dropping Vendu and going to Nifty, they have the delisting feature that works so much better. We went from almost losing our eBay store in 1 year to going top rated plus. So
Wow. Okay.
I will just say for the record. So there's that. Even if, you know, the affiliation aside, don't use my code if you want, but still go there. I am a software. I am a software engineer, right? So I've tried many different programs. That's what I do full time. If you didn't know,
I started using it this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ellie started using it.
I liked it.
I've heard about it many times, and it's like it's like one of these things. You know how it is. Like, it's hard to jump ship where you're at. Like,
I get it. I get it. We are creatures of habit by nature.
But as far as what you're saying, you can import all your listings, and if Nifty detects any duplicates, it'll tell you, and you can combine them.
It uses AI to
it's really great.
Okay. All right, I think you might have me sold.
Just remember, Code Rocket City saves you 15%. That's enough of that.
in 2 days, I might be sending you both a message. Thank you so much.
Yes, let's go.
You know what you do is you try. For 3 months, and all serious, going into Q4, pull the pin now while it's slow, right?
Yeah,
and get it done, and then thank me after Q4. Let's have you back on the podcast. You can tell us all about your success, because I think what it will do for you is you're going to be, your mind's going to be blown, quite honestly.
Okay.
I've had like 4 or 5 people try it and have had nothing but success. It's tripled our business in the past 2 years.
Wow.
I don't often say this inside podcasts, but we have made almost $250,000 in 2 years selling teddy bears.
Wow.
So,
that's
so I will say that for the record. But anyways, I want to talk about Mom for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go back to the beginning of the podcast. What's Mom sell?
So she sells. She's pretty much probably mostly an everything seller too. I mean, it's one of those things. I think she learned she had to expand. I mean, she liked a lot of antiques when she had her booth, but she knew she had to expand. She went from selling like glassware to discontinued beauty products to high-end salons in New York. Like, it would.
There's so much money in beauty. People don't realize.
Yeah,
there really is.
I mean, she would go to some of these flea markets, and she's buying, like, it seemed like, because I'm the one that had to help load the vehicles and everything, but like truckloads of this stuff like every week. So, but yeah, she would sell that. I mean, sometimes she's got a large collection that she's been working through for years. She's a lot slower at listing and working now because a lot of health issues.
Yeah, sure.
And but she's had a large collection for a while of die-cast cars she's been working through too. So she will literally sell anything. Like,
I love that.
Yep. And my dad too. He doesn't help her calls either too much, because he's out there buying every single weekend to the point where we actually just had a garage sale yesterday, because my dad, he's got it's really not even a 2-car garage. You could probably fit 4 cars in this garage, but it's packed from one side to the other, because he go and get tools every week. And some of them he would give them to my mom to sell online sometimes, but really he's got a 69 Corvette in there that he's trying to get to and work on. And we helped him clear it once, like a couple years ago, and he filled it right back up.
That's the thing about this gig, is it's hard not to become a collector, right?
Yeah.
It's hard not to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
H word. I say
Semantics.
that with all love because Bob's
I
seen
feel
my
it this
garage.
way. If you can manage to list at least 20% of what you're picking up, at least, maybe you're not a hoarder. Maybe you're just behind. Maybe
Yeah.
you're slow and you have other priorities right now. Now, if you're continuing to shop and not list, yeah, you might be a reselling hoarder, like Rocky Top Picker mentioned when he was on the
You're
podcast.
just building a money mountain. I don't know.
I mean,
You're hoarder. No, you're a hoarder.
now, do you
Sorry about that, y'all.
do you both believe that there's a price for everything? Like, if
There's
you
a
had,
cost to everything in life. It's a
you know,
very transactional
I
thing.
believe in supply and demand.
no, but like you're, if you have something that's like one of your prized possessions in your collection, like, is there a number for it?
For me, there's always a number for everything.
Yeah.
There's only two things maybe that I have right now that I would not sell, only because of the connection I have to them.
Okay.
Other than that, there's a price for everything.
Yep.
Now, if you were to ask my wife that, no.
So,
But she's had a different experience in life than I have. So I will say that for the record. So for me, tangible things are not really my love language, Ray. I like acts of service. Do something nice for me.
So what I've done, there's a couple things, because I've learned this over years. Like, if it's now's the time to sell it, just, you can sell it. But there's some things that are actively, technically in my collection, but they're listed too. Just because if somebody wants it, I'll pull it right off that shelf. They can have it for the right number. You know what I mean?
There's I don't want to sell it price. It may be not a price that is not within like the scope of what you can get for it, but it's a price, right? So the not for sale price. Yeah. I mean, I tell that to people all the time because they always message me and, I want to break this bundle or whatever. Well, there's a not for sale price, right? You can pay the entire price of, because there's time, there's effort that goes into like photographing and listing and doing all the things. So I don't mean to be fresh about that. And it probably does come across fresh to the customer. I don't always say that, but I'm just like, well, you can buy it for the price that it's listed for and just get that one item. I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing, but I feel like it is. It's like the not for sale price, right? I don't want to do the thing and break it because it requires extra work.
Oh yeah,
I'll do it, but
and I mean, that is something you have to think about.
There's time. Time is money.
Yep.
It's the most finite thing that we have is time. Yep. So whenever I post something, they're like, "Is it worth the time it took to?" Well, value, right? Everybody values their time differently. So it just depends on the reseller, and there's no real straight answer for that. That's why there's always so many back and forth conversations. I almost call them arguments, but I don't think they're really truly that. I think it's just about opinion, right? You can have a strong opinion about what your time's worth, and that's valuable,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what does that look like? So
well, I was gonna say I don't really collect anything. There's not much that I'm attached to that doesn't have a price or can't be sold even for cheap. I mean, but and Bob, you know about Valentine's
his diecast,
his Volkswagen collection, the Beatles, and that collection has grown on me so much that I don't think that I would sell any of those pieces, even if they were worth. Like, he's got a Herbie car, Herbie Fully Loaded. It's like a $50 car. A couple of different pieces, but I don't think I would sell them.
I mean,
somebody was like $500.
So this is an interesting question. Now, what if your mortgage was due and it was that or else?
Well, I mean, I'm not.
Everybody's in a different place in life, right? Like, is it keep the electricity and the kids fed, or is it, hey, I'm doing okay and I'm making a pretty good penny? Like, that's a different. Not everybody has the same 24 hours. Some people say that like you have the same 24/7 as I do, and that's not really the case. Like Ellie has what, four kids, Ellie?
4 kids.
And I'm fixing to become an empty nester in next month. So like our youngest is headed off to college. So our 24/7. I mean, I do work a full-time job. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it looks a little different, right? Yeah. There are competing efforts that she has where she can list only so many maybe a day, whereas I can maybe do 30 to 40. We don't have the same 24/7. So whenever I hear that, I'm always keep it in the back of my mind. I try not to tell people because I sound arrogant when I tell them that. And it's really not that. It's just, it's not true when you really think about it.
Honestly, it makes me
Yeah.
feel a little bit better because when I
Yeah.
hear, oh, we all have the same 24 hours, I feel
It's
like
not really.
I'm running a losing race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and you're not. And you're not.
Well, I mean, I don't have any kids, and I don't. I mean, it's just me and my wife here, and I do
Yeah.
this full time. So, and I struggle. Like, I feel like I don't even have enough time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, but between the stuff that's been going on with the post office, I'm losing a lot of time lately.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. It's time for that It's time for that conversation. But before I ask you that question about the story, because you guys are gonna want to hear this one. So if you're planning on leaving the podcast, don't just yet. You're gonna want to hear this one. But does she help with that, or does she have something else she does full time?
Well,
how does she feel about reselling? Your spouse?
So she it's kind of like a love-hate thing because she loves that I find great deals and stuff that we enjoy, and I go out there and get that stuff. But sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, filling the house or bringing stuff in the house. I know that, and she's been very supportive. I love her. She has helped me a lot in the past, especially in my earlier years of going to the flea market. And I was in selling line, she'd wake up early with me and set up with me. I'm inside sitting at the table. She's out there grabbing another load and wheeling it in. So it's, I'm really thankful that she has helped me a lot. As far as online, every once in a while, she might like help me out and pull some orders or anything like that. But that's probably about as far as that goes. But yeah, she can be very helpful and supportive, and I completely will ever be appreciative that she always does that. And but she has a full-time job. She's actually a store manager at a Petco, and
Nice.
she loves it. So and I've tried to work my way in before, like, come on, don't you want to just start reselling with me, and you stay home and you don't have to go out to work? And she's like, she loves her job. She loves working with the animals, and so she absolutely has
for
fun.
everybody.
Yeah.
This can be a very lonely thing for some people that are very sociable. Like my wife is a very social person, so for her it's very difficult, I think, maybe not to have that connection. She has a lot of great friends that she talks to throughout the day, but I mean, she's the type of person that's never met a stranger, so I can see maybe there's some appeal for those that. But if you're into the a little bit more of a solitary life, maybe this might be the thing for you. I know that one of our good friends, West Virginia Panhandle Picker, was talking about standing up an organization for veterans that have PTSD to teach them how to resell. I think that's one of those things that might be something that there's value in.
Oh yeah.
For that particular reason. So
yeah, I mean, if anybody's listening and they feel lonely, like, honestly, one of the best things is this community. Like this reselling community is amazing.
Nobody understands it like we do. Like nobody gets it.
Yeah, I know. If I tell my friends, hey, I bought this for $1 and sold for $100, and they're like, who cares?
We don't get it. That's that's adrenaline.
Yeah.
Nobody gets the jokes, like why we're adding rocks to boxes.
Yeah.
Only a reseller would understand that. Well, that's a perfect transition, Ellie, because postal prices being what they are, it's an absolute nightmare. They just upped the prices again, and now you can't even get customer service. Not that you've ever gotten it before from the U.S. Postal Service, but now it's even more so the case. Now, there are reasons why that might be true. I know that Amazon is absolutely crushing their will, so we'll see exactly what that looks like. Amanda sighting. We'll see what that looks like going forward, but I will say for the record that the story you're about to tell is impactful and has meaning and value in the reselling community. So you're going to want to listen to what Ray says next. Go ahead, Ray. Tell us what's going on.
Okay. So, I mean, it's been a really difficult, like, I guess, probably almost 2 weeks now, I guess. Really a week, because this is when it really started to really blow up. But I guess like a couple weeks ago, we lost them.
Oh, I think he went out on purpose.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I'll just continue. A couple weeks ago, I had gone to my local post office, and really, I actually don't really go to this post office. I just started resuming using this post office because my post office I was using before was a contracted post office inside a pharmacy. Really great, incredible. They don't really give me any difficulties. The only time, that's with the exception of if the contracted location, like if I was bringing, say, more than 15. Oh, it's back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. If I was bringing more than 15 packages to that contracted location, I would make my way over to the actual standard post office, my standard local post office. But just because I have a lot of respect for the ladies that were at the contract location, because they would have them working 2 counters of money order and lottery and bouncing back and forth. And so technically it was 2 lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot for them, and they were always great to me. So like, if I have too many, I'll go somewhere else. I don't want to put that stress on them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm back to the standard local post office location, and I go up there, and the clerk, and she's been there for a while, but she just said, because I had 9 packages, she just says like, "Oh, I'll take care of you this time, but next time, if you have more than 7, I can't scan them in." And I'm like, what? Since when? Like, I've been coming here for years too. Like, I mean, it might be on and off, it might not be as often, but often enough for them to know me, you know?
Right.
And she's like, well, it's always been a rule. We just don't enforce it. I'm like, so why would you tell me then? I'm thinking, you know? So I don't know. It kind of really bothered me. And going home, I just knew, I'm like, next time I go in there, I'm going to have some kind of problem, you know, because there's no way next time I go in there, I'm not going to have, you know, like at least the following week, that there's not going to be a day that I go in there that I'm going to not have more than 7. It's bound to happen. You know, you get a busy weekend, doesn't matter. I'm going to have more than 7. So what happens the next Monday after the weekend? I go up there. They're actually not even accepting. They only had some other person at the counter. They had a sign on the door saying that no receipts, so they wouldn't even scan in your packages. Then they says no money orders and no stamps. So I don't even know why they were open. At that point, there's no reason that they should have even been open. And I go home. I go back that next day, so the Tuesday, and my wife was with me. We both go in there, and I'm like, I have to get these out. You know, I couldn't even ship them out the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And because that was actually, when I went there on that Monday, that was probably about 30 minutes before close time. It wasn't enough time for me to go to another post office.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what happened on this Tuesday, I had to get these out. So I had 13, I think. And I go up there. She asked me if I had a scan form. And I'm like, no, I apologize. I'm sorry, I don't have one. And she just starts rolling her eyes and starts just having an attitude. Meanwhile, and let me backtrack, there's other people in line, you know, on both days actually, that were getting more than 10, maybe, 20, even 30 packages scanned in without any issues. Never were they asked for a scan form. And so when she asked me for one, and then she starts rolling her eyes and just giving me an attitude, and even though I apologized that I didn't have one, and then my wife was like, because she could see her demeanor, she's like, I don't understand why it's such a problem. And then she starts going off and like, it's not a problem. Like, I'm just trying to do my job. And I said, I'm trying to do my job too. I said that politely. And then it goes on to the point. She what was it? So goes on to the point that I'm trying to explain to her. I'm trying to, at least, that I can't have a scan form because all the platforms I sell on. For many people that sell online, eBay is one of the few platforms that you can get a scan form from. I think Whatnot you can now also, but there's not really any other platforms that I know of outside of those two that I'm not familiar with. But I told her I was trying to explain to her, and she's like, she didn't want to hear it. She's talking over me the whole time, not even letting me get my words out. And it got to the point that she finished up. She's acting like she did me a favor by doing all this too, by the way. But she's holding the receipt there, but not this far enough away that we can't reach it. And my wife was like, "Can we please just have the receipt so we can go?" And this is all while this clerk is.
So she's sitting there with a receipt like this.
Yeah, she's running her mouth a lot, like
Lord.
And so it's bad. And so my wife just asked her, I was like, "Can we just please have receipt so we can go?" And she gets it. And my wife, I know, she did not say the most pleasant words while we were leaving. And, it was just basically just do her, I'm not going to say it, but like just basically just telling her to do her job with some language mixed in with that. But it doesn't matter.
Expletive.
Yeah. And she said it like a couple of times, but still, like, we were walking out the door, Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then
once you know your goose is cooked, I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah, and that's so frustrating.
It really is super frustrating. What a story! I mean, now there's a few things I've been watching this saga unfold on the sidelines, and I've said a few things on Instagram about it, how I would particularly go about doing it. Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, why isn't porch pickup an option for you? Because there are a lot of people in the comments that. So let's go ahead and address that.
Yeah.
That way we can maybe get in front of it.
So obviously, I mean, I live in Baltimore, Baltimore,
Maryland.
It is not the safest area to live. With the exception, I don't know how my neighbor did go on vacation. I think we talked about on Buy It All a little bit, but my neighbor went on vacation and she had like 6 or 7 packages out there for like a week, and they never got taken. But I've had enough random people walk on my porch that weren't trying to sell me anything, but they were just up to no good snooping around to know that I don't like leaving anything on my porch. So, because of that reason, I just can't see myself leaving a package out there for a pickup, but also the inconsistency in pickup. Like, I never even know what time of the day I'm getting mail. It might be 9 a.m., 10 a.m., could be 8 p.m. at night. Right. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And I honestly, because even somebody brought it up in the comments again. I mean, I feel like every time I look at the comments, that is what somebody is saying about the like, why don't you just do local pickup or something like that, a porch pickup? But there's a huge turnover rate too in my local drivers. Like, I don't have consistently.
Same here.
Yeah. I think since I've lived here since 2019, I've probably had 20 different drivers.
I think what it is Amazon is absolutely crushing their will to live. I mean, it's the packages that come in. We're no better in adding to that, right? So we're a part of the problem. I get that for the other side, being devil's advocate, that we're adding to the problem. But in scope, I would say we're a very small percentage of what Walmart and Amazon are, and maybe even Target, because they started that as well. And most people have an online presence because it's very attractive to get sales. So they're not doing anything different than we're doing. Sometimes we get the brunt of the punishment that they're feeling from the other bigger stores. So I think a lot of what we're seeing is a residual maybe of that, just wearing them down every day.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it's like this in your area, like both your areas, but it's like I was driving home yesterday from my parents' house after the garage sale. I see a USPS man out there working because they're delivering Amazon packages on a Sunday. This is a
same
Sunday.
here. Yeah,
You know, like that was never the case, and so they've absolutely put more stress onto their own employees by having them do this. Even if it's in the contract or that they signed or whatever, they're trying to pick up more work. It's absolutely just
I'll tell you that.
demolishing it.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story real quick about our local. We're just outside of Harvest, Alabama. It's a very small town. It is up and coming. It is growing, and they've outgrown their post office. It just is what it is. They weren't planning on it getting so big. So one of the things that recently happened, it was on the news that they had left, I want to say maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 pallets. I don't even know what the number was. Countless pallets of Amazon packages out in the rain. And when I tell you it's rain, when it rains in Alabama, it's like Forrest Gump rain. The rain is coming from the bottom. Like it pours here. We get a lot of rain here. So so it just happened to coincide with the postal rates and everything else, and it just went viral here. A couple days later, the packages mysteriously were not there. So now there are concerns about hours and budgets and carrier loss, attrition, whatever, that same stuff that we're talking about, trying to keep. And we've been through many. We're in rural Alabama, so we're just outside of Huntsville. So we've been through a lot of carriers, and the problem is the routes are so big, and these guys are like going, and they're just going until late at night. And when you're new, it's even worse because you have to learn the route and then apply that across. So it's been as bad as the postmaster coming out and helping like for a while there. So it's a really big problem, and the post office are already to the limit of what they can bear financially and physically and mentally. So I understand, like, you've been really gracious about, considering what you've been through. You've been very gracious to the postal service in regards to how you're going across addressing the issue. So I will say that for the record.
Yeah. So like, even when I had the issue, like that day when I went up there, basically I even said, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to tell them that I'm talking to you so I don't have any future problems, or we don't have any future problems. Like, I want to work it out right then and there. And I'm always respectful. I know if they, it's usually only this clerk there. So I do things like when I do have them scanned in like that, I'm facing all the barcodes up. I'm making sure everything's nice and neat on the counter, making it quick, easy. They don't have to flip it over trying to find the barcode to scan even. Like, there's a lot of like little things I try to do to help them. And I'm respectful. I know I didn't yell. But, and then it's just, it is absolutely frustrating getting to that Monday where the following week where I show up and they're like,
so what if
you're not welcome there? Let
me propose something. If you've tried this, what if you were to take 5, go back to the back of the line and do another 5? Would they have, you think they would have the same problem?
I don't know. I prefer not to do that also because
obviously it's not ideal, right? Well, but I was just curious because I've been told that at that small post office before, I can only scan 5, go to the back of the line, and I said, so basically I'm just going to sit here and get through 15 packages by coming through 3 times is what you're telling me. She said yes. I said okay, have a great day, and I went to another post office. But so it just depends on the postal service. Some, like, we actually go across into Tennessee. We're right on the border. We actually go into Tennessee to the local post office here, and they're actually the ones that deliver our mail, and they're super fantastic. Matter of fact, we even converted one of them to a reseller on whatnot. So they're super nice. It really is a great story.
Yeah, I have great postal workers here.
We're really lucky.
When you're us, there's no recourse. What the heck are we supposed to do?
Well, there's third party. Have you considered that, Ray? So that's another question that I've been thinking about. So there are third party locations, like we have, they're called Going Postal here. We're like a third party location where you can drop any type of mail off there. And I guess they have it's like a hub. They come and pick them up. Is that an option for you?
Um, there isn't that I've seen, but there. I mean, well, there's another place I guess I could drop off package at. I don't know. See, my worry is that with these contract locations, if the location I was going to inside the pharmacy that was contracted, they closed because their contract wasn't renewed. That can happen in any of these other places I eventually go to like that anyway. But there is it's just in a shopping center, and it's just like a shipping place that I know I could drop stuff off, but from my understanding, it's like $1 per package. And I've done that for like UPS packages or anything like that, where I didn't feel like running all the way down to UPS or Staples. It was just easier and quicker for me to just drop it and like, here's $1, you know.
Yeah.
But
Pay to drop
that,
them. I thought they get paid per scan.
yeah.
Well, our post office is rural, right? So that's another thing I was going to bring up. Like they get counter scans. So when we bring in a bunch, they're actually good. They're happy to see that because they get banked hours for the following like cycle or something. So they can kind of like get more hours at the counter. So they get more hours for them. I'm not sure exactly how that works.
Tim said something in the comments here. I'm gonna pin it.
Okay.
One of the things that I've had to do in the past is use the receipt and turn the clerk. Okay, I'm not sure, there was a typo there, I think, but it says their number is on the scan whenever they scan your items, and sometimes that will make a big difference. So I'm not sure if you're saying like
it's like their employee ID number maybe or something,
like the review number or something. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
That makes sense. The clerk number would be on the receipt just in case there is a problem. They could go back to the clerk possibly and track it in that way. I mean, metric wise, because that's another thing our post office has always got going on about. No, if I don't do X amount of packages, you know, they're going to get on me. Or
so, but can they really do that? Like, if the postmaster is involved, is he not supposed to, or are they not supposed to come in and correct these things? I don't understand.
I would assume that there is a way forward, but I think Ray's been down this one too. He's talked about it on Buy It All a little bit. Ray, you want to tell us what your experience has been like trying to get the postmaster involved?
Yeah. Well, so like it's really, so again on Monday, so I didn't even really tell this, but on Monday I arrived and they told me to leave, that I had to go to another post office, that I'm not welcome there, to basically, and I had to ask if I'm trespass. I told them, you know, feel free to call the cops because I kind of want that, you know, a report and everything. Police officer comes out, talks to them, but I even asked the officer, I'm like, hey, can I get their names, like the employees' names? Like, are you able to get them to me so I can use that? Like, and he said, well, it's really, since a crime was not actually committed, I don't have access to those names. I can't give you the names unless they choose to give them and share them. So, and they would not share any information of the postmaster or any numbers that I could call, anything. They were absolutely refused to give me any information, and wanted me to go on this like treasure hunt, I guess, of trying to figure out who to call and who to contact and whatever, and that's been a complete disaster. So
Ray, I want to just take a moment. If let's pretend I'm the postmaster, right? Hello, Mr. Ray. How can I help you today? What would be your pitch or your case? How would you what would you say to him in that moment? I'm going to put you on the spot. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Practice for when you get it.
Yeah, I'm just curious. What's the pitch? What's the play? Yeah.
You know, I'm a small business owner, and I really I want to use your service. I want to be able to continue to use your service, but unfortunately, there has been issues, and I would like to try to figure out how we can resolve them so I can continue to to use this location, since it's convenient and only 5 minutes from my house, that, you know, it's not going to have that much of an impact, and maybe whatever we have to do, or if there's anything else I can do, you know, whatever, like, I don't know. I think I'm to the point though. I am just overly like so frustrated, and this isn't me speaking to the postmaster anymore. I was it's like, I've probably thought about different things I could say, or when I finally get to whoever I'm supposed to speak to, like,
Right.
because I have called USPS customer service. Well, actually, first of all, I want to say I opened up a case after the first incident. A day later, I get a call saying there will be an investigation and they will look for probable cause. And then they hung up. There was nothing else. They said, well, like,
Mhm.
I guess I could expect some information or something. I think that's what they said. But either than that, they hung up. And then the day after that, the case was closed. I show up Monday. This whole incident happens where I'm not welcome. I immediately that evening, I opened another case to the point where 2 days later that gets closed also. But and I had been to,
They got you running around in circles.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I really feel like I have. I mean, I can go on and on. Like, I've called customer service, and they will transfer me to the They try to transfer me to consumer affairs multiple times. They give me the number. It goes over there, and it just keeps ringing, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, our voicemail box is full, and then I can't get a hold of anybody. And I've done this like multiple times. I'm calling like maybe once a day, I think, at this point, and I still can't get through. They've even opened another case for me, and that got closed 2 days later again. So I've technically had 3 cases open. They're all been closed 2 days later.
Has it impacted your personal mail at all?
Huh?
I just want to see if there's, like, if it's like impacting your personal mail delivery. Do they know your name, your address, stuff like that? I don't
think so. Well, I am having issues with
retribution is what I'm looking for. Is like, are they that petty?
I am having issues for some reason with stickers I order for Resell Lunchbox. They have not shown up yet, and they're just kind of like stagnant where they are. I don't know. So I don't know if they're holding them hostage or what.
I mean, it's
right, because they know your name and your address.
Yeah,
I mean, it's silly to say that, but I mean, is it as deep as that? Is it as petty as that? Is there a way back or way forward? Like,
I don't know. See, and that's the thing too. Like, I really.
Suggestion. Have you tried the Attorney General's office for the state?
I've tried the Inspector General. Yeah. But it's a roadblock. That's where it got closed again too. So the only time I've actually heard back from anybody, and this was a couple of days later after when I was told I wasn't welcome at the post office anymore. I went back a day later with just one single package, because even the officer said that they would have to ask me to leave. It's not a real trespass. So they would just have to ask me to leave every time I go in there. I could go in there tomorrow, and they would still have to ask me to leave. It's not an official trespass. The postmaster hasn't even spoken to me. So it's like, because I don't even know who the postmaster is. I can't find that information anywhere either. It's like my post office doesn't exist online. But yeah, like, I mean, it's to the point. I don't know what to do.
So there have been people like myself who have said, go to the news. And that's a really great question, right? So specifically after what I just described, what happened in Harvest, Alabama with, it went viral, the whole thing, and all of a sudden the problem resolved, right? So are we to that point in society where we have to go to such a length and extreme to get an answer? Are we there?
We might be soon. It's definitely crossed my mind. I think the next thing I want to do is maybe contact a local politician. I do have a couple things I'm waiting on. I have somebody that I know, like a friend of mine, said they know somebody that's higher up at the post office. So I'm hoping that because they're supposed to reach out to them, and then I'm expecting a call. But that was Friday when I heard that, and I haven't heard anything back yet.
I will say, for the record, city councilmen and women are very tenacious, usually, because they are at the lowest level of government, and they will do and use any use case they can to get promoted. I know that's a terrible way to lever something, but I mean, that might be an option. Going to a city council person and just saying, hey, listen, this is what's happening.
It's definitely in my deck of cards, especially like I said, I haven't heard from anybody except for my local post office. They came back and eventually called me, and they basically insinuated that I apologize too. That's the thing.
No,
too.
wait. Let's talk about that for a second. And
Yeah.
Vintage Sports Flip said
Oh,
there's no bigger media than Buy It All podcast. And
Yeah,
he's
there
not
we
wrong
go.
if you're not following. You're not following Buy It All podcast. Make sure you do that. But now, is there a way forward? Could you possibly go there with 1,000 donuts and make things right? Is that? Do you think that's an option? Are we past that? You think?
I think we're past that because I mean to the point that they insinuate that I should apologize, and when I asked
For the convenience, though, would you consider it, or is it a pride? Is it a pride thing, or is it just a matter of hey, listen, it's about your job. Please just do it. I'll be respectful to you. You be respectful to me. Just do your job.
Is that pride though, or is that principle?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I suppose it is principle. That's a good point, Ellie.
I mean,
the principle of the thing. Yeah.
So here's something we haven't talked about on Buy It All because this happened Saturday. So I had somebody else that's local to me that actually reached out and they said they've had issues with them too. So I think it's getting to the point that this is such a larger scale issue. It's not even just the clerk. It's a entire post office training and management issue that, and maybe if this opens the door to maybe something to get resolved there and fixed, I think that's the best case scenario. And it's to the point, but maybe it won't happen to somebody else, and that's what I'm trying to remind myself at this point, because I mean, this is miserable, but
I would imagine so, because the inconvenience of it is one thing, right? But it's, again, like Ellie had mentioned and pointed out, the principle of the matter. What if we, as resellers, came together? So if there's a bunch of resellers out in Baltimore, you want to be a part of something like this, just consider this for a second, Ray. What if we showed up in force, right, at this post office, and everyone had 2 packages? Now there's 50 people with 2 packages, and at the end of the line, there's someone else handing you 2 more packages. Yeah. And we just allowed them the opportunity to see the value in just taking your 13.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
I'm about that kind of life. I mean, if I didn't already have a busy schedule, I'd probably think about it. And that's probably what's going to prevent a lot of us from doing that for you. Yeah. But there are people local. I mean,
well, honestly, I had like an alternative that I was going to potentially do before kind of this whole situation blew up. So if this was going to continue and say I was still welcome there, right? But they were going to still have issues every time I had more than 7. I was going to start going in there without any labels on my packages, and I had QR codes. So they were still going to have to sit there individually, put the, scan the QR.
I'll bring the 5 in, but have them so unprepared that they spends 20 minutes just.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Genius.
that was going to be my next thing. That if you're going to get an issue, it can get worse.
Got one job, like.
Yep.
It's perspective is everything, and when you don't live something, it's hard to say, what that looks like from the other side of the table. I would love to have someone from the Postal Service on the podcast so we can have a frank discussion about the pressures that they're feeling and what that looks like. I think they'd likely lose their job is probably why that will never happen, but it'd be nice to be able to kind of have a conversation with a past postal worker. So if you're a past postal worker and you're hearing the sound of my voice, there's a email that's scrolling across your screen. Go ahead and fill out that email, send it to us, and we'd be happy to have you on the podcast. We'll have Ray back and we'll have a conversation about what that looks like. And I think it's important because it's impacting all of our businesses. We are small businesses for the most part. And are we a business or are we self-employed, Ellie? We won't bring up that subject again.
That's a discussion for another day.
That's a discussion for another day. But yeah, but I want to, usually during this time, and we ask our fellow resellers to shout out somebody that they would like to see on the podcast, because I think it's important that we grow as a community and we shore each other up and we kind of grow in that way. So, Ray, now's your chance. Who would you like to see on Launchpad Reseller podcast?
All right. Really, look, I would not probably even be on any podcasts because I to be truthful, I never wanted to do any podcasts. I never wanted to be in the limelight of reselling. I thought it was like me openly talking online was going to be like closing a lot of doors and deals that I wasn't going to get anymore. There was a lot of that But my buddy, Big City Flips Jay, me and him doing Junk Jaw years ago. Well, not years ago, maybe a little over a year ago at this point. We did that podcast together. It kind of opened up a lot of doors. I wouldn't even be on Buy It All probably if it wasn't for that whole experience. So and he's honestly he's really intelligent about video games and just reselling in general. It's just like me. I mean, it's in his blood. He's been doing it since he was in school. He would, if he was on here, he would probably tell you the story because I've heard so many times. But it's
So Big City Flips.
Yeah.
Big City Flips. You've been called out on Launchpad Reseller podcast. What say you, Big City Flips? We would love to have you on. We are a community of in practice is what I like to think of this podcast. So we want to make sure that we're actionable in the community and that we're supporting other resellers. If you have ideas for Ray on how he can deal with the Postal Service, please feel free to follow him on Instagram. Ray, what's your Instagram over there?
Yeah, it's same thing, Triple R Collections. But I believe there's underscores between Triple and R, and also between collections, and even to end it, because I used to have one years ago, and then so this should be an underscore at the end too.
Okay, so there you go. So feel free to reach out to Ray and follow him there, so you can follow the saga that is now what we're calling it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna I want to do a recap too.
Yeah.
So I'll have a recap video coming out soon.
Yeah, we definitely need that because
the weekend.
Just to give people a chance to spool up on like what the latest is and maybe the steps that you've gone through so far, because we're starting to see the same comments of have you tried this, have you tried that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that would be a good idea just to kind of shore people up on what's going on and how your experience has been. And if you've had this experience before, please feel free to reach out to Ray and let him know how maybe you might have moved forward. You know, if there was a path forward for that. I mean, he would love to, I would love to hear that.
Anybody that's reached out and given advice or saying that they've been following it, or just anything like kind words of encouragement has really been one of the things that's helped me keep going. Without that, I probably would have given up by now.
Well, you have an entire community of resellers behind you, even people that don't know your story right now that are going to see this and clip. Just know that we are going to clip this thing and try to go as broad as we can with it. That way we can make the community aware of what's going on to one of our own and see if we can rally together and find a solution forward for you. Just know that. Big City Flips, we'd love to have you on the podcast. Ray, we want to thank you for being on the podcast. And we want to remind you of one thing, everybody. If you can't be good at it. Until next time. Ray, don't go anywhere. I got one more question for you.